Hi, everyone. We've set up this Being an Engineer podcast as an industry knowledge repository, if you will. We hope it'll be a tool where engineers can learn about and connect with other companies, technologies, people, resources, and opportunities. So make some connections and enjoy the show.
Taking the company to the next step, as people like to see new products, something new or something edgy, or they like to be like, hey, this is the new cool thing which is happening.
Hello and welcome to the Being an Engineer podcast. Today we're speaking with Rushabh Dhapodkar, a mechanical engineer who has held several R&D roles and is currently working at a company called Leggett Platt, a furniture and home furnishings manufacturer. Rushabh, thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Great. All right. So first question, this is like the standard being an engineer start-off question. What made you decide to become an engineer?
I love solving problems, and I love solving problems which solve people's problems. So something working on products, any products which makes your life easy. That's what inspired me to become an engineer.
Growing up, were there problems that you remember specifically where you solved them and you thought, oh, that was so fun. I would like to do that for a job.
Yes. So I usually, the birthday gifts which I received were like Lego products or any cars or anything which was assembled like puzzles and stuff. So after working on that, on those little projects, like a child, I grew up with an ability to like do problem solving. And when you work on something and you see that Lego set coming together or the car coming together or the puzzles fitting at the right spot, that gives you gave me a satisfaction. So yes,
totally.
That's what. Yeah.
I think all the engineers out there can relate to the thrill that we experience when the Legos go together or the puzzle pieces go together, right? Like,
yes,
we did it, solved it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, this is episode 3 of 6 of a series that we're doing specifically on R&D. So most of the questions will focus on that topic. And to start off, do you think of yourself specifically as an R&D engineer or just generally an engineer? And what even do you think is the difference between the two?
So I think of myself as an engineer who does R&D job. So it's a combination of, I work in the R&D department, so it's a combination of the commercial products as well as the R&D products. So we are working on the prototypes, innovations, what would be the next big thing for the company to be in the market. And on the other side, we are also thinking of how we are taking our existing products to become like commercialized and just grow their supply chain or availability over the market to mass people. So it's a combination of both. I would say 50-50.
Yeah, that makes sense. How do you define R&D engineering? What's the definition in your mind?
So R&D engineering, according to me, would be utilizing the existing materials or ideas or products of the company and combining them with upcoming technologies to see how they fit together for the upcoming products in the market. So taking the company to the next step, as people like to see new products, something new or something edgy, or they like to be like, hey, this is the new cool thing which is happening in the automobile market or furniture market in my case, or cell phones. So an R&D engineer puts together, tries, tests all those things, and hopefully something comes out of it.
Yeah, hopefully, right? something new.
Yeah.
So based on your experience in R&D environments, what are some of the challenges, like the common challenges that you seem to run into over and over?
So the common challenges is what I've personally faced is with the safety team. So we put together a prototype. It's good to go. It's a little bit heavy, so UPS is gonna be a bit not happy, or the upper management is like, okay, it's going like 10 cents above the budget, but as per engineering side, it makes sense. It might not look aesthetically good or have some pinch points. That's why the safety team comes back. But yes, that's the hiccups which you see when you produce a prototype and then others are like, hold on.
So from an engineering standpoint, everything makes sense, everything works, but then how do I say this? I guess the making your engineering choices compatible with other disciplines, whether it's marketing or safety or management, whatever. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, you have to think about what will happen when this product goes to the customer nowadays, because there are many concerns and someone just might, sue the company for like, hey, it broke. I'm like,
yeah. And as an R&D engineer, do you enjoy solving those problems as well? Or would you prefer to just focus on the engineering stuff and then, there's like a safety thing, but I'd rather someone else take care of that. Give me some more like R&D stuff to work on.
We do have to care about those things. We have FEMA meetings, the design failure modes, effects and analysis meetings every month for every project we are pushing out. So we have the operations team coming in and they are saying like, hey, this weld joint did not perform well after 5 years. So can we try to change that? And these are the customer reviews, how they have been showing up in the products which have been shipped. So yes, we do have to keep those in mind. And it's definitely a learning curve when you receive customer feedback and how a product is going to the market. Yeah.
Well, what are some of the tools that you really enjoy using in R&D? Some of your favorite R&D tools?
So favorite R&D tools, with the top one would be SolidWorks, where you design everything. You put all your ideas together and show people what you are thinking, how it looks like. The other is prototyping. We do have 3D printers, so we prototype and we put together on Autodesk Mesh Mixture and we print it out. So that also helps you get a feel of some small product, some small, the little piece which would fit in the bigger puzzle. So yeah, these two, 3D printers and possibly SolidWorks. Yeah.
When you think about SolidWorks, CAD, 3D printing, are there any shortcomings where you wish they would be better or faster or something different? Or are you pretty satisfied with those tools as they exist?
So with a growth in voice commands and the voice technology, I wish, or if it's out there in SolidWorks, I'm not sure, but if there is something where I could just say like, hey, make me a 1x2 cross tube hollow with 14 gauge steel, 50 inches long, it will just show up. So that's one thing which I have seen in my job being I have done repeatedly. So if that is automated, that would be great. Obviously, there is a design library and someone can create it out, but I need 36.52 inches. So
that would be really cool, being able to give voice commands to SolidWorks and come up with simple shapes. Yeah. Very cool. Well, I guess along those lines, what are some things that you do as an R&D engineer that you wish could be done 10 times faster?
Possibly the drawings which we do in drafting. So you do need those experienced drafters to do your drawings and check the tolerances, and they put in all the efforts everywhere. But if I have like a model which just turns into a drawing pretty fast so that I can get my technician to like, hey, start it tomorrow because I'm running this. So I need to I know there are SolidWorks macros. I need to learn to do those things, but still something quicker than those two.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I hear you. I don't think I've met an engineer out there who just loves doing drawings, you know? The 3D, that's the fun stuff. The drawings are just unnecessary. It's not an evil, but they're necessary.
Necessary.
For now.
Yeah.
Until model-based definition becomes a much more prevalent solution anyway.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Thinking back over the different projects that you've worked on, what is one of your proudest accomplishments as an R&D engineer?
So my proudest accomplishments, or I should rather say it was a team effort, because it was my first project at Leggett Platt. So they were trying to install IoT devices. They are still trying to install IoT devices on beds. So in the furniture industry, it is yet to be explored with all the sensors coming in and to collecting data and fitness data. So my first project was having a bed which will go up and down or change its shape in some way and have some voice commands to do that. So which was pretty cool. So
wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So if you snore, it will change its shape so that you stop snoring, or it will help you with a better sleep, because I think there is a medical research study which states how you snore or how your head is tilted when you're sleeping opens up the airflow to your lungs, and that's why you snore. Plus there is fat or something on the neck side, but on the air side, it can be solved by adjusting your head. So
I didn't know that existed, and that sounds like something that I could use tonight, and my wife would be so happy for that solution. I'm constantly getting kicked and nudged in the middle of the night because I am making noise.
You're welcome to try Leggett Platt products.
Awesome. I'm going to check out the website right after this. Yeah. All right. What's something that you wish others would understand about R&D that maybe, I don't know, other engineers not in the R&D space or even leadership or management doesn't fully appreciate?
So sometimes when you look at a product and let's say you have worked on that specific feature of a product for the past like 4 years, and you have your expert engineers working on it, but now you have a new product which is launching today, and the upper management says like, okay, we have this feature, we are expert at it since 4 years, get it done in 1 month or 2 months. And then us as R&D engineers, we have to tell them like, hey, no, it's, even though the feature is existing, we need like 4 or 5 or probably 6 months to perfect it, like on the new product. So the one gap between being an engineer and seeing the product from outside is not understanding the fact that engineering side of R&D might take some time, because we have to go through all the tests, the making sure it works well before we put forward. We don't want it to break in front of the upper management and they're like, hey, you just wasted my 30 minutes. So
yeah, like you said, even for existing features, if you're integrating it into a new product, there's still work that needs to be done to make sure it works in that new environment, so to speak.
Yes. And retrofitting is more, I feel like it's more difficult compared to like just having a new feature and a new product so that everything is like brand new.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I know what you mean. Well, I'm going to take a very short break here and share with the listeners that teampipeline.us is where you can learn more about how we help medical device and other product engineering or manufacturing teams develop turnkey equipment, custom fixtures, and automated machines to characterize, inspect, assemble, manufacture, and perform verification testing on your devices. We're speaking today with Rushabh Dhapodkar, and we're talking about R&D engineering. So along that same theme there, what is one of your biggest frustrations as an R&D engineer, and also one thing about R&D that really brings you a lot of satisfaction and joy?
So I'll go with frustration first, because then we'll end up on a good note and the question on a good note.
Perfect.
The frustration is, you come up with a design, you present the design, and in your head, you have thought about that design for good 2 weeks, because we have bi-weekly project updates meetings where the R&D team, all the managers come together and sit and test or see what's going on in the project. And you have given it your analytical, logical thought, and you have come up with a design, and it gets bashed on the first go.
Ooh, that's
hurts.
hard.
It hurts.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, this is not up to our standard. It's not going to fit here. It's not going to work like that. We have done this before. Go check this out. I'm like, okay. That's all you can say in the meeting. All right, I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to come back. So getting some kind of criticism which doesn't help you but just stops your progress, that's frustrating. So I mean, the corporation or the team is supportive, but sometimes that 10% when they are not.
Yeah.
Or when they can't be because they have never done it, because it's new. So that's frustrating.
Sure. Yeah.
The good thing, or I think the second part was the good thing about being an R&D. So the second part is good thing about R&D is I get to feel the product, which is going to be seen by the customer after like a year or two, just like today. So I am already living in the future of technology, or future of what a customer would think a wow factor of the product, which would be in the market. Like if you're saying if you're calling a new phone or a watch or like your car, wow, the R&D engineer has worked, tested, probably lived in the car or had the furniture in their house like 2 years ago. So being the first pioneer, or sorry, not the pioneer, but like being the first to use the product before anyone else, that's the best part.
Yeah, like advanced access, right?
Advanced access, yes.
Everyone else.
Alpha zero access.
Yeah, that is very cool. Being on the bleeding edge there. What do you think are some of the most difficult things to teach others about being an R&D engineer?
So one of the difficult things which I think teaching someone is how to think or how to approach a problem. Sometimes what happens is a senior leader would come and tell you like, hey, this is what I'm expecting, or this is what I want, or this is the new feature, or this is how I imagine this project or product to be going ahead. So if you're a new R&D engineer, aligning the scope of his vision, because he has that experience in the industry or the company for so long, but you are the new guy, I think that is a bit difficult. So that could be easily resolved by being with the company, understanding the product, getting your fundamentals right, talking to the engineers or senior engineers who have been in this situation, possibly learning from their experiences. So that would solve the issue. But the difficult part is having the mental ability to imagine or understand what your leaders or managers are expecting you to do. Yes.
Yeah, that's a tough one, right?
Yes.
I mean, how do you get in someone else's mind to really understand what they're expecting outside of just having a lot of conversations? But especially if they're senior management, you probably don't have lots of access to them. Yeah. No pressure.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the answer to this next question is the same thing, but if you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about the R&D environment, being an R&D engineer, what would it be?
Faster problem solving, I guess. Understanding and faster problem solving, or sometimes you know the product is right for the market, but you have to wait for it to go through all the procedures of the company, approvals, shipping of materials from abroad, or the delay in mass production, and then like getting it to the customer. So just shortening the time of everywhere. So from problem solving to taking it to the customer, I guess.
Yeah.
Are there
Are there any we'd love to shorten timelines everywhere, right?
Yeah.
If you had to pick like one or two areas, is there one or two areas in particular where you could see a particular benefit in being able to turn something around more quickly?
So after COVID, what we have realized in our company is like it's better to rely on suppliers who are very local in United States, or like in countries where you can ship it through roadways, like South America, which is very close, or from Mexico or something. So if we can quickly research new materials, new suppliers from nearby accessible companies who are local, hopefully, that would be very helpful, because we have some of our materials being tested, or they were relied on countries which we don't have access to right now because of their financial problems or their supply chain issues, and that has been keeping us a bit behind from what is expected.
So a more robust database of different suppliers and vendors out there, so you could, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you started out as an R&D engineer, did you understand what it meant to be in the field of research and development, and how has your understanding of that role changed over time, if it has at all?
So before starting full-time at Leggett, I did do an internship during my undergrad in a product development team. So this team, they developed sensors for their machinery which was coming in, and they were trying to utilize what kind of frequencies would work well. Is it audible frequencies, ultrasonic, or any infrared sensors that would help us detect an obstacle in front of the machine? So I did have a gist of what R&D meant before I joined Leggett. After joining Leggett, it was a whole different story, because I never imagined myself being an R&D engineer in a furniture company. You always see yourself growing up working possibly for an automotive client, or a cell phone company, or like the core mechanical companies. But a furniture client was all new. So I did.
Yeah, that's interesting. What new challenges or learning opportunities did you have at a furniture company?
So at a furniture company, you really have to work around how the safety of the customer goes. There shouldn't be pinch points, or I am in the adjustable bed business, so the adjustable beds, they go up and down. And we have our pets in the household, we have our babies in the household, and these can crawl below your bed, and they might crush their head or something, and which you want to avoid. So
yes.
That was new compared to a car driving on the road and just crashing into someone else. So different set of problems you need to keep in mind.
Right. Yeah. Okay. What do you think the most important mindset or attributes are that an R&D engineer can hold?
So the most important attribute is to be hunger to learn, and possibly to be more focused or detail oriented on what customers are wanting. Sometimes you might miss out words in a conversation when it is portrayed to you. So, and you should be aware of what they are asking you to do. So, and you should always be hungry to learn, and hungry to learn obviously always aligns with asking questions. So you cannot learn what they are expecting by asking questions. So that is one of the important attributes to be an R&D engineer.
I'm hearing the word curiosity in what you're describing there.
Yes, curiosity. Yep.
Asking questions, wanting to learn. Yep.
Always keep your eyes and ears open for something new in the industry, and you might never know what might stick at your role from something else. Yeah.
Well, let's see, just a couple more questions and we'll wrap things up here. Let's pretend that it's like 3 years from now, and you're looking back over the past 3 years and kind of reflecting. what has to be true for you within the context of your role as an R&D engineer for you to feel, really happy and satisfied with what you've accomplished the past 3 years?
So in the next 3 years, I would love to see my products hitting the market and in the customer's hand. It's a long process. R&D process in a furniture industry involves like a year and a half of testing, getting it shipped to the customers. So in the next 3 years, I would love to see some of my products in the market. Possibly someone just coming up and say, hey, Leggett's product are so good. And I'm like, I would secretly just smile inside my head saying like, hey, I was a part of it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. When our second child was born, this is 13 years ago now, but we were in the hospital. He had just been born, and one of the nurses came in, and she had this pendant around her neck, and it was this like communication badge by a company named Vocera. And you push a button and like, Dr. So-and-so, just letting you know this or that. Anyway, I worked on that product, this Vocera product, and it's like, oh, that's it. I designed like this button and that switch and this part of the housing. It was so cool to like, see it in real use. So that's what a feeling, right? To see our products out there being used by people. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
The satisfaction of seeing your products come alive.
Yeah. Big time. Big time. Well, Rushabh, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Anything else that you want to share that you think would be useful or insightful, interesting for others to hear about the job of an R&D engineer?
One of our project management classes during my graduate degree, the professor came into our classroom and gave us this case study of, imagine you are in 1940s and you are an automobile manufacturer and you want to sell your cars. What would you do to sell the cars or increase the sales of the cars? And this is 1940s or 1900s, like the automotive industry is growing.
Okay.
And all of us being 21st century ruined kids of internet would say, okay, I'll go electric. I'll increase the mileage. I'll add some leather seats, big headlights, or fancy mirrors. But the professor said there was a random article in New York Times at that time that about 60-70% of the America has beverages during the morning times. It's probably a hot beverage or a cold beverage. So someone at an automotive company got that data from the newspaper and he thought it would be good to have a cup holder. And the R&D engineers combined this and there was an invention of cup holder. And now you have 5 cup holders. So
wow.
Being an R&D engineer is not only about knowing about your work, but having your eyes and ears open about what is going on in the industry. And you can just put it in your product. And hey, you just innovated something by combining 2 existing features.
That's terrific. What a great story. Oh, very cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Rushabh. Well, again, thank you so much for sharing some time with us today. Really, really appreciate you being here and sharing some stories and insights into what it is to be an R&D engineer.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here, Aaron.
I'm Aaron Monker, founder of Pipeline Design and Engineering. If you liked what you heard today, please share the episode. To learn how your team can leverage our team's expertise developing turnkey equipment, custom fixtures, and automated machines, and with product design, visit us at teampipeline.us. Thanks for listening.